If you're ready to stop guessing and trying to figure out how you can even rank on Google, be sure to stay tuned for the entirety of this video because we're going to cover exactly what you need to be doing in order to rank on Google. Hello and welcome. If you haven't been here before, my name is Soph and I am so excited to dive on in. In today's episode, we want to talk a little bit about Google ranking and search engine optimization. Now, if you have no idea what SEO is or what search engine optimization even represents, be sure to check out previous videos here and here that talk about what SEO is, how to use it, and how it actually works. In this video, we're going to take it a step further and go into what the big components are of how to actually rank on Google and how to beat the algorithm so that you can actually get found with metrics that really matter. To help you go through this piece of content and understand all of these references, we also are including a free blog that goes through each of these steps sequentially on our site. The link to that blog is in the description down below, so be sure to click on that and check it out and follow along inside of this video as well. So the first thing that we're looking at here is the quality of the page on content, meaning what kind of content are we creating in our site and on our blogs that people actually want to read. One of the biggest mistakes that novice bloggers make is that they just write content that they think is keyword rich and are stuffing a bunch of content with keywords that they think they want to rank for onto the content or onto the page. But that's not actually the case. It's important to understand and to put yourself in the shoes of the reader who would be searching for your content. You want to make sure that your content isn't just a bunch of random information, but it's quality content and information that readers are actually going to find valuable. Because if you are trying to rank on Google, one of the biggest things that it looks for is, are people actually ending their search on your page? Meaning when they're looking for something on Google, do they find it on your site and then stop looking? If that's the case, then you are doing incredibly well in the eyes of Google and they see your content as incredibly valuable. If that's not the case and folks are quickly coming onto your site and then leaving, it's telling Google that the quality of your content isn't quite there. The second thing that we're looking for is going to be the website speed and or the user experience of your site. Now, this is important because especially in today's day and age, we have a huge addiction to instant gratification. And so if a site is loading slowly, you best believe that users are not going to wait around for that page to load. So it's absolutely crucial for you to make sure that your site speed is as high as it possibly can get. Some quick ways to fix this are things like making sure you're optimizing your images so that they're not too large, making sure that you're not using too many animations or fun little pieces on the site, especially for somebody who loves design, because that might actually be slowing down your site loading speed. Also, you want to make sure that you're regularly clearing out your cache and that you have a proper type of hosting platform that can support the amount of traffic that you're getting every month, especially for somebody who's expecting a lot of high volume traffic on your site. The next thing that we're going to be looking at is in the similar realm, and it's around mobile optimization. Now, as you know, the majority of users today use their phones to search for content online. So it's important that your content isn't just optimized for the desktop, but it's also easy to read and navigate on the mobile device. This includes things like the actual font size, the buttons on the page, the images and how they load on mobile, and the overall site overlay. So please be sure when you're creating your site and you're creating your content that you're not just looking at it on the desktop where you're writing it, but you're also double checking your mobile version to ensure that it is easy to navigate and easy to read. The next thing that we're looking for here is what we call technical SEO. Technical SEO are all of the more fun components of SEO that have to do with things like, is your site secure? Are people able to actually click on it and go through it? Is it quickly loading? Do you have a proper site structure? Now, if this is your first time into the world of SEO, my recommendation is to come back to this at a later time because it's probably not going to be the most quick and straightforward thing for you to dive into. But it's important, again, to have this in the back of your mind because Google does look at these things. And so you want to make sure that your content is not only quality content that has proper loading speed that's easy to navigate, but you're not using broken links, you don't have a bunch of random information, that the page has proper descriptions, that your images are labeled correctly, because this helps Google to better index your site. So please don't skip over this part because it feels technical, but take the time to work your way up to it so that when you get to the technical SEO, it doesn't feel as overwhelming. Finally, the next thing that we're going to be looking at is what we call on-page SEO. So on-page SEO is different than technical SEO and our back-end SEO or off-page SEO, however you want to refer to it, because this is the actual content on the page. So these are things like your title tags, are you using the proper headings, things like your actual meta description, as well as the links on your page. So if you're linking to other references or resources, this is helpful to have on your site, especially if they are relevant to the content, because it can help improve how your content is being categorized. Additionally, we've talked about this in the previous point, but it's image optimization and the overall visual experience of the content to make sure that it's organized, that the paragraphs are there, and that you're using the content structure appropriately. If you're not sure what we're talking about here, please be sure to check out previous videos where we talk about how to organize your content and how to format your blog for ranking. Finally, some of the other big pieces that you may not have as much control over are things like your domain age and your URL structure. So your domain age and your domain authority are really based on both the length of time that you've had your domain and also the number of other sites that are referencing your site and what their reputation is. Unlike social media, you cannot fake it on Google. You cannot just change your title one day or create a website one day and then instantly be ranking on the first page. You actually have to put in the work and show that other sites are referencing your site and they're credible sites that are referencing it. So it's important not to just be trying to get a bunch of random backlinks from sites that aren't credible. And it's also important to recognize that you want to have clean, organized content, as well as making sure that your URL slugs and or the way in which your site is created and optimized is organized neatly and methodically. To better understand this, check out one of the previous videos we did on some of the first things that you can do to optimize your site, as well as how to do an audit on your site for SEO. Finally, one of the last things that I'll cover, and be sure to check out the blog linked in the description down below for a few additional pieces that we're not talking about in this video, but it is understanding the power of search intent and content relevancy. Now, this is probably one of the biggest components of your blogging journey, and especially making sure that you're ranking on Google for content that you actually want to rank for. And what we're talking about here is understanding what your ideal audience or what your users are searching for when they go to Google. What kind of content do they actually want to find? Because we cannot just be creating random content about a bunch of random topics hoping that something's going to stick or that we're going to rank. We need to be intentional and strategic by doing the keyword research, by doing the competitive analysis to understand our users, our readers, and know exactly what it is that they're searching for so that we can create content that meets exactly their needs. When you start to do this, you'll start to see a huge change in how your content is ranking and how you're being categorized on Google. Not only are you going to start to minimize the amount of confusion on platforms like Google or other search engines because you're focusing on a specific topic, but you're also going to see a huge increase in the amount of time that users are spending on your site and in your pages because each of the pages are relevant and connected to each other. So be sure again not to skip ahead, to do your keyword research and actually create content that ranks appropriately. For additional support on how to get started, be sure to check out this video here on how to do keyword research, as well as checking out our free introductory SEO course linked in the caption down below for you to dive into. This is a full course that we created to help you with the first few steps, including keyword research and understanding how to do competitive analysis so that you can start ranking on the first page of Google. As always, if you enjoyed this content or you found it valuable, please don't forget to hit subscribe and like down below. It makes a huge difference to this channel, and be sure if you did enjoy this, you know someone else who needs to hear it, don't be afraid to hit share. Otherwise, if you have comments or questions, feel free again to comment down below, and we will see you in the next video.